thing that I love about Revlon is that they do reproduce a lot of the lipstick shades that they made back in the 50s that are still available today. Hi friends, so I had a follower reach out to me asking me if I could do a vintage makeup tutorial. I asked what preference they had for an era of what style makeup they'd like me to show, and they asked for me to show a simple 1950s makeup look that anyone can accomplish in a short amount of time. So I ran up to my local drugstore, CVS, because I'm not one to spend a ton of money on makeup. Not to say that the more expensive makeup brands aren't more glamorous, I'm sure they are, but your girl doesn't have money for that, and I want to make something that is approachable to consumers, affordable, simple, and easy. So let's get started. So I'm not going to do my makeup in quote the same techniques that they did in the 1950s. I don't really like how that looks on my face, you know, using a sponge for foundation and their fingers. Not really a fan of that. I do like my blending brushes, so I am going to be using more modern techniques, but with colors and placement styles of how they did it in the 50s. So first of all, I like to do my eyebrows. Obviously my eyebrows are growing in. I like to use one of these eyebrow shavers, and I like to shave off not totally half of my eyebrow, but quite a bit of the tip there, because I like to form my own eyebrows with eyeshadow. And this is just kind of like a starter placement of where I want my eyebrows to start, but then I will finish off the line with that eyeshadow. It's just easier for me personally to get that more clean line when I do it myself. I'm not saying you have to do this if you don't feel comfortable shaving off like half of your eyebrow. I totally understand. This is just what I prefer. Yeah, you look a little cray-cray when you don't wear makeup, when you're missing half your eyebrows, but this is what I prefer. I know back in the 50s they had thinner lined eyebrows, so this will help me start that shape. But I mean, like I said, you don't have to do this. It's just a preference of mine, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to make that perfect brow line, and you can do it right over your eyebrow hairs. You do not have to use a razor. So I have a really thin angled brush I'm going to be using for my brow line, and I'm going to do something more natural because that's what they did in the 50s. Do kind of like a tan brown type color for my brow, very light on the tip of the brush. I'm going to kind of start at the underneath part of my brow, and we're following that line, kind of curve it down a little bit from there. Then I'm going to finish it off kind of blending up from the bottom, filling in that brow, following that line out from there, and then going down with that crisp angle. Don't worry to be too perfect, because then I am going to go in with some concealer and really clean up that line. Just kind of darken it up where the hair is not, so it blends in nicer. And then I'm just going to repeat that on the other brow. So as you can see, they're really not even at all. And like I said, that's okay, because now we are going to clean them up. So I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. concealer. This is my favorite concealer. It's very pigmented, so pigmented, not pigmented, pigmented. You would think English is not my first language, but it is. Pigmented. It is that word. And so if you want a lot of coverage, this is going to be your best bet. But if you don't like a lot of coverage, I don't recommend this, but I do like this for making a perfect line around that brow. So I cleaned up my same angle brush. I like this one because it is a smaller sized one, so this is my favorite angled brush. So I just kind of scrubbed off that brown eyeshadow to now put concealer on it. So I'm going to take my concealer there and I'm going to put my brush on the top of that concealer. And then kind of the same thing, I'm going to go under that brow line and really clean it up. I'm going to take my flat foundation brush and blend that in. Then I'm going to then clean up the top of the brow, doing the same thing, just following that line and then taking more of a sharper point going down. And blending it in again. Do you see how much sharper and crisp that looks compared to the other one? Much better. You have a more lifted brow. So repeat on the other side. Okay, now that we've cleaned up our brows, I'm just gonna take that concealer, put it on top of my eyelid so that I have a good base for my eyeshadow to then go on, and then blend it out with that foundation brush. Now, when I was researching 1950s eyeshadow colors, they were very light pastels of blues, greens, lavender. Those were really the three top main pastel colors they used in the 1950s. Yes, they used a lot of neutrals as well, but when you look at magazine ads, you will usually see the blues, the greens, and the lavenders. So when I went to CVS, I was trying to find some eyeshadows that were that light pastel color. I was finding a lot more vibrant eyeshadow colors, dark greens, dark navy blues, and I wasn't really finding those pastel colors. I'm sure they're out there, you'd have to dig more, but I was just going to my local CVS that day and I didn't want to dig anymore. So I did find this. I really loved these light pastel colors, really the colors that I'm talking about. The only problem is that these are cream eyeshadows, and lesson learned to read the packaging and the product before you buy, because I really didn't want to get cream eyeshadow. Just my preference, it creases pretty easily, at least for me, and not really time period as to what we're going for, but we're gonna make do and use it anyway. Back in the 50s, they usually used those foam kind of Q-tip eyeshadow brushes, and I don't have any. So next idea, your finger. It makes it a little bit more pigmented because they put a lot of pigment right on the top of their eyelid and then kind of softened it out and blended it out on top. So I'm going to go in with this middle color right here. Like I said, this is a cream. I don't know how it's gonna look. Okay, that's pretty. Okay, that's pretty. I don't know what the longevity of it is going to be, if it's gonna start creasing. But hey, that's a pretty color. Okay. Okay. Okay, Revlon. I see you. I like it. Very natural. Well, it's easy to just kind of put on with your fingers. You know, if you're in a hurry to go to work and, I mean, you have to wash your hands on afterwards, but if you're in a hurry to go to work and like you just need to kind of do that, that's easy, that's simple. It is very light, but like I said, back in the 50s, it was very light pastels. Let's see this darker purple maybe on top. Let's see what that's gonna give me. Haha, this is an experiment. Okay. Not much darker, but we got a little bit of something. Now that's pretty. Hey. Very natural, but very pretty. I like it. All right, let's put on the other eye. Okay, the only thing I'm gonna say is that it is a little bit on the shimmery side. And in the 50s, they didn't really have a lot of shimmery type eyeshadows. They were just kind of a flat pastel blue, green, lavender. They weren't really shimmery. This is more of a modern look, but we're still going somewhere. We can still make do with it. So I have this dark purple eyeshadow. I don't know, it might be too much. It might be too much. Okay, not bad. Kind of blend it out like that. Not bad. I just don't know. I don't know. But I already did it, so we just have to do it again because I can't have one eye like that. So we just do, If I just pat it on really lightly, it's not too bad. Just pat it on really lightly. It's kind of putting like powder over foundation, actually. Kind of looks like. Okay. Just very lightly dabbing. Like I said, their makeup was very light in the 50s, and there wasn't really like a lot of placement. I know nowadays makeup, it's all about those cut crease lines, that placement around. Back in the 50s, they just kind of put it on. So we're just putting it on. Like, there's not really any rhyme or reason to it, honestly. Okay. Still very light, just gave a little bit more of that matte look and a little bit of finish. Okay. Okay, now normally when I put on eyeliner, I use a liquid eyeliner stick. Very smooth, very clean cut. But back in the 50s, they did not use that. Now I know you can get a remake of 1950s makeup by Besame Cosmetics. I recommend, if you want to put on makeup in a period accurate way, like the mascara is a handheld brush with the pancake of the black makeup. You get it wet, you put it on your brush, and that's how you put on the mascara. Very 20s, 30s way to put on your makeup. I think they kind of did that in the 50s as well, because they didn't have the mascara tubes like we have now. And they would also use that black pancake makeup for their eyeliner, but they would use a brush, a very thin brush. They would wet it, put the brush in, and that was their eyeliner. I've gotten Besame products before. I'm out, and like I said, I just wanted to do a simple makeup look that was more for consumers going to CVS or your local drugstore. So I found this from Maybelline. It has that brush and it has the eyeliner in the tube, so, or in the jar. So I'm hoping this is going to give me more of a period accurate look where it's softer, it's with a brush, and it's not that harsh black line with the liquid liner that we use now. Yeah, we use the pencil eyeliner too, but for me, it always crumbles, it always breaks, it always falls apart, and this is more period accurate, so I'm gonna try it. I haven't tried it yet, so let's see. Now this is the eyeliner that's in the bottle, Now, like I said, the more accurate time period way, it was a hard, what they called pancake, and the only way to make it liquidy was to wet it. This is more of like a gel, it looks like, so still not perfectly time accurate, but close enough, I think. I mean, I haven't put it on yet, but close enough for what we're going for with the look. This is the brush it came with, has an angle to the shape of the handle, not really an angle to the shape of the brush itself, but let's see how this looks. Oof, this is a whole learning experience for me today. All right, oh, that's very pigmented. I was not expecting that. Huh, maybe a little too pigmented. Maybe I put too much on the brush. Yeah, I was not expecting it to be that pigmented. Okay, let's take a little bit less off of the brush. But hey, it's nice and easy to put on, that's for sure. So same thing back in the 50s, there wasn't really like this perfect placement that we try and do nowadays with our makeup. It was very just kind of accentuating the things you have and the shapes you have. Except if you were Marilyn Monroe, she definitely did that wing that gave her those bedtime eyes, as they call it. But I know for the simple like housewife in the 50s, they did do a little kind of cat eye, little point, not much, not like the crazy cat eye wing we see nowadays, just a little point like that. That was easy. All right, let's do the next eye. Okay, the one thing I was most afraid of happening is happening, where that eyeliner is starting to get in my cut crease and starting to, yeah, you can see it there. It's just blending into my cut crease now with my eye open. That's the only thing about these gel eyeliners, is that they don't dry like a liquid eyeliner. They kind of bleed like that, and that's just not cute. That's just not a good look. So I like how it's being applied with a brush, but I don't like how it's giving me these creases. That's not what I want. Darn. I guess I would just say I recommend doing this kind of eyeliner shape with a pencil or a liquid eyeliner. And then you could possibly put some like black eyeshadow over that liquid eyeliner line to give it a little bit softer of a look. Because yeah, look, it's just getting worse. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, ooh. A for effort, F for execution, because that, I mean, like, I just now put this on. Can you imagine if I'm at a date, I'm at a party, dancing, I'm having a good time? It's gonna get worse throughout the day. Yeah. Yeah, that one's a no from me. It's a no from me, dog. Sorry. Sorry. I'm just putting some more light purple eyeshadow over that crease to kind of cover it. I mean, it's still there, but what can you do? What can you do? I mean, we're all learning here. I'm hoping that there's more than just one of you watching, but we're all learning here. We're all learning here. All right, next I'm going to do my base. Very simple. I prefer using a stick foundation because it doesn't feel like I'm putting liquid on my face and putting like this thick goopy stuff on my face. I like more of a pan stick. Also, pan stick foundation was actually kind of more of what they used in the 50s as well. Max Factor was the makeup brand that old Hollywood stars actually used for productions and photo shoots and all of that. This one's just by Wet n Wild. Very simple. This is the lightest shade for me. And really easy. You just put it on like that, and it doesn't feel, like I said, cakey. It doesn't feel liquidy. And then I just take my foundation brush and just blend it in. And I really, really like it. And it's also, like I said, 1950s period appropriate type makeup look, because stick foundations is what they use. They didn't really use the liquid kind. They used the pan stick. All right, now I'm gonna do some blush before I do my powder. They did this in the 50s as well. They would put on the blush to stick to the stickiness of the foundation and then put on so much powder to set it. That's another technique we seem to do nowadays, but they were a little exaggerant when it came to the setting powder. But I just take a really simple, just pinky pink blush. Gosh, my packaging is so worn, I don't even know what brand this is anymore. It was like the cheapest blush I could find, honestly, at CVS. I like a round brush like that. And they mostly in the 50s did right on that cheekbone. Okay, my favorite powder from my local drugstore is the Revlon Color Stay. I need to get more. I am obviously low. It really lives up to what the word says, Color Stay. It stays really well. It's not cakey. It feels really light. I really like it, and it's affordable. So what I do is I go in with the sponge, or whatever you call this, and I dab like that under the eyes. And if you watch 1950s makeup tutorials, this is what they did too. They really just kind of more overemphasized it. This is kind of not as dramatic as they are in the videos, but it's kind of the same technique that they did. And then also going, I look crazy, going under those nostrils, because I know I have a lot of times when makeup seems to kind of like crease under my nose or give me kind of a funny look. So just dabbing it in the places, not spreading it, not rubbing it, dabbing it in those places where you get those like frown lines, crow's feet, forehead lines. I mean, right where all those wrinkle spots can be is where you're gonna really dab it on. And then dab it on everywhere else. And then you're gonna go in with your clean brush and you're going to blend in with the brush all that excess powder. Like so. Regardless if they did this or not, I do like to just put a little bit more blush on just over to just kind of give it another depth layer. Okay, now for mascara. My favorite is, right now my favorite is Lash Paradise. Like I said, simple, from your local drugstore, nothing special. I believe it's by, let's see if it says on the bottom, L'Oreal. It is by L'Oreal. I get the black color, Muir Black, and we're just gonna put some simple eyelashes on. They didn't do, even though you see those 1950s pinups where they put all these fake eyelashes on, all these crazy cat eyes, that's not really 1950s appropriate makeup. That's more the pinup 50s style makeup, where they're over exaggerating kind of what the makeup style look was in the 50s. I'm kind of doing more of the period style look, where the normal housewife, the normal woman wore her makeup. So she didn't really wear these big false eyelashes. It was mostly just kind of accentuating and I can't speak English again. Accentuating what you do have and not looking like a lot. So we're just gonna accentuate those eyelashes, nothing crazy. Sometimes they would put a thin underline, kind of under that waterline right there, with kind of like a light brown color just to accentuate your under lash line. So I'm gonna go in with my thin angled brush again, put a light brown eyeshadow color on it. And I'm simply just going to kind of work it right under there. See, it kind of just gives it like an extra oomph to the shape of your eye. Okay, now for lipstick. The thing that I love about Revlon is that they do reproduce a lot of the lipstick shades that they made back in the 50s that are still available today. And I found this list of all of the lipstick shades that used to be available in the 50s, and I was able to find a few of them off of that list. And I'm gonna show you some of those shades that are still available today. You guys can let me know which shade you like the best. First, I have Love That Red, number 725. This one was originally made in 1951 and is still available today. Oh, look at that shade. All right, let's see. Oh yeah. That is definitely like a 1950s cherry color red. Yeah, that's pretty. I like this one. Okay. Love That Red from 1951. What do you guys think? Your favorite? Not your favorite? Let me know. Okay, next shade is Certainly Red, also from 1951, number 740. All right, let's see this color. Ooh, that one's pretty too. Oh my gosh, yes. All right, let's see it on. Oh yeah. Oh, that's definitely a 1950s shade for sure. It's so smooth going on too. All right, 1951, Certainly Red by Revlon. What do you guys think? What do you vote? Let me know in the comments. Okay, next is the shade Fire and Ice, number 720. This one was produced in 1952. Ooh, that's a much brighter red for sure, other than the 1951 ones that we tried on originally. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, that's so pretty too. They're also pretty in their own unique ways, I have to say. Okay. All right, Fire and Ice, 1952. What do you guys think? Next, we have Cherries in the Snow. This one is super popular, number 440. This one I know we had to always wear in ballet. I've heard from a lot of friends they had to use this shade with performing. This is a blue-based lipstick, and so it shows really, really well under stage lights, under the sun, bright lights. Like, this is supposed to show up really, really well, and this one is the most popular. This was also the shade they used in the show The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. This was the commonly used lipstick color that they used on that show when it came to Mrs. Maisel and her fellow actors. So let's see how it looks. Like I said, this is more of a blue base tone lipstick. So it should have more of like a raspberry type color. Okay. I'm not being perfect with my lipstick lines just because I just want to show you guys the shades and I'm not being really accurate with the lines, but okay. Cherries in the Snow. What do you guys think? Yes, no? Maybe so? Okay, lastly, we have Love That Pink, which is number 435. This one was produced in 1955, so this is the latest Aero lipstick that you can get that is still in production today by Revlon. It's more coral color, in my opinion, with that red color, but let's see. Ooh. This one's really smooth going on. Ooh. Very silky. This one was easier to go on than the other ones for sure. I don't know. It just has a more silky feeling to it. Okay, let's see. All right, what do you guys think of this one? 1955, Love That Pink. Let me know which shade was your favorite in the comments. And I think it's time for a photo shoot to see if my 1950s makeup inspired look lives up to the era. So let's go.